Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay updated with all our latest content. Join us and never miss out on the excitement. Ryohei Arisu lives with his father and brother in an apartment. After missing a job interview to play video games, his father chooses to no longer support him and kick him out of the house. He meets with his two friends, Chota Sagawa and Daikichi Karubi, on the streets, accidentally causing a crash at an intersection outside. While catching a glimpse of fireworks, the boys flee into a train station restroom stall to hide from authorities. However, the lights mysteriously turn off. Curiously, when they exit, the train station, as well as the street junction and the entire city, are completely deserted with no one in sight. Additionally, their mobile phones stop working and do not turn on. Nightfall approaches, and just as they begin to celebrate the situation, a billboard activates on a skyscraper, pointing the way to a game. They follow the direction to the GM building, where they meet two other participants, a woman named Shibuki Sayori and an unnamed high school girl. They register for the game by each taking one of the cell phones provided. The announcer on the phones declares the game, which is titled Dead or Alive, and is marked with the 3 of clubs card. Entering the elevator, the participants are placed into a room with 2 doors, one labeled Die and the other Live. Questioning the rules of the game, the 2-minute time limit fast approaches and the room fills with smoke. The high school girl chooses the Live door, but as she chose the wrong door, a laser fires a beam into her head, killing her. With this, the other participants go into the other door just before the time limit runs out, and the room fills with smoke. The second room contains the same 2 doors, but an even shorter time limit. Although originally appearing as a game of luck, Arisu devises a strategy to beat the game. Using his footsteps and his memory, he is able to estimate the building's layout. The floor is square-shaped and consists of 9 square rooms. Guessing the final exit's location, he estimates a path to the end point. With this strategy, the remaining 4 participants are able to clear most of the rooms relatively easily. However, they approach the final room, where the exit point is not where Arisu expected. Replaying a previous video of the high school girl being killed, Arisu is able to determine that one of the 9 rooms is actually split into 2 parts, one safe and the other unsafe. They enter the correct door and reach the exit just in time, leading them to an alley outside. However, Chota injures his leg from the flames in the final room. As a reward for completing the game, they are each awarded with a 3-day visa pass. An old man appears, declaring that his visa is about to expire. A laser beam appears from the sky, killing him. The 4 realize, to their horror, that when their visas expire, they are killed, and the only way to extend this time is by winning more games. Around the city, several people, no longer wanting to participate in violent and dangerous games, forfeit their lives by letting their visas expire. An unnamed woman watches from the distance. The girl is named as Usagi Yuzuha, who reminisces on her past life. Rock climbing with her father, she was told words of encouragement by her father. In the present day, she vows to survive under all circumstances. Meanwhile, the 4 survivors of the Dead or Alive game seek shelter in an apartment. Shibuki reveals her past. She was working for a major company and had sexual intercourse with her superior to get a promotion. But while she was showering, the lights turned off. Her superior mysteriously disappeared from the bed. She would play a game, but she ended up being the sole survivor, leading her to the Dead or Alive game soon after. The survivors find that all electronic devices no longer work. Furthermore, the phones they got at the Dead or Alive game run out of power and die. Contemplating how this came to be, they agree that this was masterminded by someone. Nightfall arrives and they prepare to go to their next game. Chota is injured, so he stays behind while Shibuki takes care of him. After the others leave, they begin to have a romantic moment. Meanwhile, the others follow the billboard to an apartment building where they find a total of 13 participants. They find a man named Nitobe, explains the game system. Each of the games are labeled with a playing card. The number denotes the difficulty, where higher numbers indicate a harder game. The card's suit denotes the game genre. Club games involve teamwork. Diamond games involve wits. Spade games test physical capability. And heart games, the worst of all, involve highly psychological tests that seek to destroy relationships. This particular game, named A Game of Tag, is given the 5 of spades. The rules are explained. A time bomb will explode in 20 minutes, and in the apartment building, there is one safe room that shelters players from the explosion. Players must locate the safe room while also avoiding being eliminated by the tagger. The game begins and players are granted 2 minutes to disperse before the timer begins. After the 2 minutes are up, the tagger, who is wearing a horse mask, appears armed with a machine gun to shoot participants. Several of the slower participants, including Nitobe, are killed by the tagger, and one contestant, who attempts to escape the building is killed by laser. The remaining participants devise a plan to survive this game. When they see the tagger, they shout out the tagger's location to the other participants so they could get away in advance. While some try to confront the tagger head-on, others such as Arisu search for the safe room. Karubi and another participant battles fiercely against the tagger, both being injured in combat. Arisu remembers one particular door that the tagger defended especially strictly. Deducing that it must be the safe zone, he goes to the door and meets the white-haired guy named Chisha. They enter only to be ambushed by another tagger. While Chisha takes on the tagger, Arisu looks for another way to win the game. Arisu comes across two buttons that, when both pressed, will clear the game. Usagi joins him, and they each press a button, stopping the bomb from detonating with only 1 second to spare. The taggers are unmasked, revealing they are ordinary people wearing a collar. The collars detonate, killing them. Karubi finds a radio in the pocket of their tagger, repeating the message, "The answer is in our hands. Return to the beach." In the uneasy tranquility of the apartment complex, Arisu finds himself morally conflicted after killing the tagger. Usagi gives him some words of encouragement, though before parting ways. At the apartment, Shibuki and Chota realize that their visas are fast expiring and they must play the game that night, then look for the beach the following day. When nightfall arrives, the billboards lead the four of them to Shinjuku Botanical Garden. Upon entering, they register by each putting on a helmet, with goggles, headphones, and a collar. The announcer reveals the game as Hide and Seek, rated with the 7 of hearts. They realize, to their horror, that this game was a dreaded hearts game, which would involve betrayal and playing with others' hearts. The rules are explained. One player is the wolf, and the others are lambs. When a lamb locks eye with the wolf, they become the new wolf. At the end of the game at 15 minutes, the collars of the lambs will explode, leaving the wolf the only winner. They are quick to realize that as the wolf would be the only survivor, they were the ones who had to hide from the lambs. Shibuki becomes the wolf and runs away from the others. She gets into a violent skirmish with Karube, during which she accidentally makes Arisu the wolf. Arisu flees and hides from the others. Karube searches for Arisu, and Chota restrains Shibuki. While in hiding, Arisu attempts to find a way to remove his helmet using tools, but fails, fearing that it would explode with interference. After reminiscing on his past memories with Karube and Chota, Arisu decides to forfeit his life so another player could survive. He comes out to give the wolf role to another player, but the other players all decide to sacrifice their lives for Arisu instead. They hide from Arisu so they would not become the wolf, and in their final moments reflect on their happy memories together. The timer ends and their collars detonate, killing Karubi, Chota, and Shibuki, and leaving Arisu the winner and sole survivor. Usagi passes Arisu, who is lying face down on the pavement in grief. She reflects on her past life. Her father was once a mountaineer who became famous for his no-oxygen climbs. However, rumors surfaced that his climbs were staged, and he used an oxygen tank during his climbs, so he decided to climb a mountain alone without oxygen. He would go missing after this climb, and suspicions of suicide arose. Back in the present day, Usagi takes care of Arisu in her shelter. She thanks Arisu for arguably saving her life during the game of tag, and they prepare for the next game to renew their visas. Nightfall arrives and they are led into a graffitied bus parked in an underground tunnel for the game. Inside the bus are 3 other participants named Takuma, Yamane, and Seizan. The game is named Distance and is given the 4 of clubs. In this game, the participants must run through the tunnel to the end goal within a 2-hour time limit to clear the game. The game commences and they start running down the tunnel. However, one of the participants, Takuma, has injured his leg in a previous game and had to be left behind at the start. After over 5 kilometers down the tunnel, they approach a replenishment station, but they choose not to drink from the provided water bottles and instead drink water that Usagi brought. At the 6-kilometer mark, they are confronted by an aggressive black panther. 3 of the 4 escape, but Seizan is mauled to death by the panther. After over 8 kilometers, they come across a diesel-powered motorcycle. Arisu realizes that he could use the diesel to power the bus, saving Takuma's life. Given that there was an entire hour left, Arisu runs back to the starting point with the motorcycle, while the other 2 go to the end, where the tunnel is blocked by a wall. Arisu reaches the bus with 15 minutes left to spare, preparing to drive the bus back. Meanwhile, the other 2 wait at the end, only for the wall blocking the tunnel to break, filling the tunnel with a massive flood. They run back to avoid the rushing waters, but Yamane falls and drowns in the flood. Usagi meets Arisu and Takuma's bus, and gets on just before the waters capsize the bus. bus. The remaining participants regain consciousness and climb out of the bus. They find that the word goal was painted on the side of the bus, meaning the bus was the goal the entire time. Takuma, the only survivor of the original trio, parts ways with them, having completed the game. Daytime arrives, and Usagi and Arisu decide to go to the aforementioned beach. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks for your support. See you in the next video.